Jack Draper.
Jack Draper.
Jack Draper.
1, 2, 3.
10th of March 2022.
4th of May 2023.
30th of May 2024.
20. 21.
I'm 22.
27,000. 65,000.
87,000.
145. 48.
37. It's always something that obviously any British player wants to achieve. Obviously I've always had Cam, Dan, Andy ahead of me, and they've been such amazing role models and always been at the top of the game, so it's been hard to catch them up. But I suppose from my own perspective and my own goals, obviously I'm 37 in the world right now. I want to keep on climbing higher, and my goal is to try and be a top player in the world. And if that's British #1, then great. And if someone's ahead of me, then they're obviously doing an amazing job too.
Wimbledon.
Wimbledon.
I think just keep trying to be yourself, keep following the same path, keep trying to do the right things. I think, I went through a stage where I was injured a fair bit, so just stay patient, stay calm. Just stay on the process and the journey. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. At the moment, it's a bit of a tough one. I've been injured and things are a bit low, whereas I'm sure in the next year that if I keep going, if I keep trying my best and keep working hard, I'm going to experience a lot of more great things.
I think tennis is just a crazy roller coaster. It's up and down. It's every week. Great wins, poor losses, tough moments, great moments. Lucky enough I have an amazing team around me to keep me grounded and keep everything in check. And it's kind of easy to overthink a lot in tennis, but as long as I'm trying my best day in, day out to be the best player I can be and doing the right things, then I think that's all that matters. And hopefully I still have that same perspective next year.
Probably just trust everything's going to work out. Everything's going to be all right. Just stick at it. I think the same thing. Just keep on going. Keep trying to maybe enjoy the day-to-day and the journey a little bit more. Just try and learn from each experience you get.
I think last year I had to change a lot of things about the way I went about things. I had to work really hard physically to not only get fit but also work on my body. I had a lot of weaknesses and a lot of areas that would break down when I was competing. So that's a huge positive I'd say from last year, is that I've put in so much work to sort of get to the point where I'm able to compete consistently on the tour against these other high level athletes. I'd just say to keep on improving. Like last year, I think, like I said, maybe my perspective on things was not the same as it is now. Maybe that's just one more year of maturity and sort of new experiences and learning. And like I said, obviously having great people around me. So don't know, keep going.
Probably Rafa, I'd say. Rafa. I'd say Murray, because obviously he's British and what he's done for the sport, not only in this country but in general. And I think my main one would probably be Rafa.
Rafa and Andy have always been my main two idols tennis-wise. Obviously Andy is coming to the end of his career too, but seeing Rafa play one of his probably last matches at the French Open, I think what he's done for tennis and his competitiveness and the way he handles himself on the tennis court it's remarkable. And obviously the same goes for Andy as well. I'd say those two still inspire me lots.
I'd say drawing Novak and playing Novak at Wimbledon, I think that occasion of playing him, one of the greatest all time, on centre court at Wimbledon when I'm 19, I think was definitely a memory that it's probably my biggest memory. Probably so far getting inside the top 50. I suppose, when you're younger, the goal is to make the top 100. It all happened very quick for me last year, and I managed to break inside the top 50, and I've just got to keep on trying to go up and keep trying to achieve new goals.
Last year, coming back from my injury and sort of having to learn a lot about myself, dropping from a great position back outside the top 100, having to go back to challenges, and then I went to New York and I had a great run there, and that kind of set off a really good end of the season for me. Obviously playing my debut Davis Cup in front of a crowd in Manchester, those teammates I have there was incredible. I think that's a really huge achievement for me. I'm just looking forward to keep on playing on these big stages, and hopefully I can put all the work that I've been putting in for so long on the match court.
I think pressure only amounts when you put it on yourself. all of the other outside noise I think you've got to be able to deal with, like as a professional in any sport or in any form of life. So I do believe in pressure, but I believe it's, you know, the pressure you put on yourself.
I think every athlete, if they want to be successful, feels pressure. There's this constant ambition inside of at least myself to want to do better and want to do more. And you know, I definitely feel the pressure to perform, but I think I'm not focused on what anyone else is saying. It's more from my perspective, trying to do the best I can. I mean, of course, everyone feels pressure, but it's like I want to embrace that pressure. You know, I've always wanted to be a top player. I've always wanted to sort of be recognised as one of the best players, and you know, I put that pressure on myself to want to be right up there at the top. And I know that if you want to be there, you know, that comes with a lot of different things. You know, the better player you are, the more you're expected to win. Things change. So I think, yeah, like if you don't feel a bit of pressure, then you're abnormal. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully getting out there and keeping on going.
Japan.
There's a tournament there in Tokyo this year. They played it last year, but I didn't go. So hopefully this year I'll go. I'm trying to think what other countries I haven't been to. Although I'd rather have a holiday in the UK, to be honest, with family, and can never get to see anyone.
Probably the Masters 1000 events. You know, I've heard, you know, some great things about those tournaments.
I think this year it would have to be Shanghai. Okay, yeah, I didn't end up going to Shanghai, but I'd say I'd like to go to Shanghai tournament.
I'd say it's aggressive, a bit, yeah, ferocious in a way, big serve. I like to think that I'm an all-round player, but at the same time I can produce some great shots and entertain.
I'd like to think I'm an all-court player. I think I'm quite explosive. I have a big game, but I'm also, I think I'm pretty different in the way that I can move pretty well for a big guy, and you know, I compete as hard as I can. So I don't know. I'd just say explosive, all-court player. I'd say right now I'd just say I'm an all-court player slash. I've got a bit of a weird game going on because I've got a kind of big serve, but I like to sort of stand behind the baseline and be, you know, defensive and grind. Also can attack, but I'd like to transition my game to more of a aggressive player. You know, that's one of my main goals coming up because, you know, I've sort of got to where I've got to in the world rankings through being a certain way, but I know that if I want to be right up there with the best, then certain things have to change. So I'm working really hard on trying to transform my game. It's a love-hate relationship, I think. It's, you know, when I'm away from it, if I have a week off or something, then I'll miss it a lot and I want to be back on court, and then sometimes all I want to do is just take a couple of days just to get my mind off it. But I'd say it's something that I've been engrossed in since I was a young boy, and it's something that, yeah, I'm always hold close to myself, and it's going to give me so many amazing memories, and I've already met so many amazing people. I try and keep that in mind as well. It's not all about the tennis. Like, I've met so many people and formed so many great relationships through just being a part of tennis. I mean, it's weird. I always used to sort of love tennis and sort of train and enjoy it, and it was sort of just part of my life. Like now, I'd say, especially in the last year, seeing as all the things that I sort of thought about growing up, playing big tournaments and traveling the world and all these sort of things, they feel very real. And so, I don't know, it's kind of become for me a little bit of an obsession now. You know, I don't really think about much else apart from my tennis and how I need to improve. Maybe it's a bad thing. Maybe it's not healthy. But you know, I'm really trying to work on everything I can. And yeah, like I said, like when I have days off and stuff, I struggle to get away from it, to be honest.